Hello everyone, very good morning. Just a minute. Start. Okay, so fine. So now, so in the last sessions, what we saw that. So just we saw that how to. So what are the things we are going to. So use the terminologies when we are working with a AWS, right? So when you want to load any data from AWS, so what we need to know is we need to know so what is the ARN details, and then so we need to know the location of your files where the files is available. So this is nothing but we call it as a URL. So ARN details means it's a unique details. So which account, so it can be a AWS, or it can be a Azure, or it can be so GCP. So we need to know the role ARN. So through which role we are trying to access this particular URL, right? So these are the details we need to know to create integration object. So to create integration object, we need to know these two details, right? Okay. So now, so when you want to like show me the files here. So before that, so let me log into AWS account. So now I will log into AWS account, AWS console. So this is the URL. And so if you want to click on this, just click on the sign in. And here, so by default, it will be the root user. So for our practice session, so now this is the username.
Hi
And
Dinesh.
yeah,
The last class is not uploaded in that portal, Dinesh. I tried to follow up with that organizer a couple of
no
times,
problem.
but it didn't
I
happen.
sent an email. Every day I'm sending the email to everyone, right?
Yeah, yeah, you
If
sending
any
that notes, but that video is not. I didn't receive any
video
video.
also, video link also I sent it in the email. Could you please check once?
No, I didn't receive it,
Uh,
Dinesh. Maybe it's
I,
missing.
I, I will I will cross check once, Sarah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I will check cross check once. If it is not so there, okay, I will send it again
The
one more.
last topic I received is a partitioning clustering, which has happened on. Yeah, maybe in that I missed that. Sorry. Yeah, I missed.
Okay, I will check once, Sarah. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, thank you. Okay, so fine. Let's come here.
And one more thing in that cloning class, you mentioned that when we clone database from what?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we clone database, all what you mentioned is the stages, schemas, everything,
Yes.
the task, everything will be copied. But what
Mm.
I noticed is only external stages will be copied, not internal stages, I think, because I tested it.
In internally, so when it is coming, like internal stages, right? Those will be not copied. So only the named stages will be copied. Like table stage, like user stage, right? Those will not
Yeah,
be copied. So when we are doing that,
yeah, I
then it
see
will be
that
copied.
name stage is also not copied, it seems. Maybe I'll get back to you.
Name, okay, name stage will be there. Could you please cross check once?
Sure, sure.
Okay. So we'll see that if it is not there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So now just observe this. Now where we are in. So now we are in AWS account. Now if you want to create an account, just follow this AWS document creation. Just we need to give your details. After that, you need to give your use email ID and then phone number. And so when you want to activate this AWS free trial account, so you need to give the credit card details. So it will be deducted some so minimal amount, and then again it will be created to your account. And this, when you created this AWS account, so it will be, is always we are going to select the basic plan, it will be free. So this one, so it will be for around 1 year, I think. So only 1 year the trial account will be activated. After that we have to go for any other the purchase plan. So but we can create the trial account, so for our practice purpose, that is more than sufficient for us. So when you created, so just we will give, so just follow the this particular document, so it will be, the account will be created. Otherwise, so if you want to use the same account which I am using, so instead of creating the account, so I will share you these credentials, whatever the credentials we are using here, right? The same credentials, so in our email. Okay, just go through the account and then you can use the same account which I am using here. So but when you are using, so don't change any of the settings here. So just go ahead with that. So only the thing what we required here is, so one thing is S3. This is the storage bucket where our files is available. Another one is IAM, Identity and Access Management. Now, when you come to S3, see this one, so you may see the buckets here, two buckets. So bucket is nothing but a, so consider that it's a kind of, so drive. So within that bucket, you will have a folders. Now within this bucket, you can able to see CSV folder, JSON folder, and then Parquet folder. These are the other the file formats. Now when you click on CSV, we will see all the file types. Now if you observe in this particular CSV folder, so you have a file. So we have file, right? So this particular thing, So when you have this file, if you want to see that, so this particular file, when the file is available in this location, if you want to see that, so what is this file format, and then so what is the column names here, then so just click on that file format, and then so click on this, and then you can go with this particular thing, query with S3 select. So when you click on that query with S3 select, so you can able to see, so run query, run SQL query here, you can able to see the file format and then data also, right? So any file, the same option you can able to use. So query with S3 select, then you can able to see that. So if you want to upload any files here, so generally this task will be taken care by AWS team. No need to worry about that. They will give the path as well as the so file also it will be available. So if you want to upload any files, let me delete this file. Delete. You want to delete, we have to type here. Sorry, type here permanently delete the file. The successfully the object is deleted. Let's close this. Now if you come to this CSV, see this, in this particular folder we don't have any files. If you want to upload any files here, just click on upload, and so here we need to select the file. Then let's come to AWS CSV. So now so here this is the our folder, this is our file within this folder. Now the file we are trying to upload, the file will be uploaded into this particular URL. So where is this file located? Now if you want to see the location of the file, come here, so click on that. You can see copy S3 URI, right? So this is your external location where your file is available. So this is the first thing. So what we required, sorry, copy, copy. This is the things what we require. This is the location. So where your file location is available. So then, so what is the other thing is, so when we are copying, so when you know, so which file we need to load, we need to know the structure, this structure, and then file format. Generally we will get it from the source team who is sending the so files to us. We will ask them, then they will so send the file format, so file structure, and then so what is the file format. Now one more thing, so this is one thing where your file is located. This is the path. We will call it as a path where the file is located. Another thing is, so we need to know the role ARN details. Then that is a so unique ID, so which we required to create integration object. That unique ID will be available in IAM. So here IAM, and then go to the roles. The here role, you can click on the snow role here, then you can able to see role ARN details, right? These details, let's copy this and then come here. These are the two details what we required. These are the two details, so what we required. So one is role ARN details, another one is so S3 location, so where your file is available. If you have these two details, then we can able to create a integration object. Now our intention is, what we are trying to do is, from this particular S3 bucket, in the S3 bucket, in this particular CSV folder, from this CSV folder, we are trying to load this particular file into our Snowflake tables. To do that, so we required the table structure in our Snowflake, right? So let's connect to this. So now, so we are in class and then public class database and then public schema. Now we need to create a table structure here. The table structure what we are having here. So here, so first just observe the steps what we are going to do. We are creating a table structure. So now let's copy this. This is the table structure, the file which we are having in our S3 location. So now creating a table structure first. This is a CSV file. Okay, comma separated values. Now the table structure is created. If you observe healthcare CS. This is the table structure. Okay, this is fine. Now we have this. So S3 and then ARN details. Then what we required? We need to create a integration object. So we need to create integration object. Now when we are creating integration object, this is the syntax. Now observe this: create and replace storage integration. So you can give any name here. So S3 int. So just for the identification we have given S3 integration. So or we can give so AWS integration, whatever it may be. And then so remaining so type is external stage. This we are telling that it's a external stage. When you are working with so internal files. So if it is located in our local system, then we will use a internal stage. That is nothing but a named stage. If you are working with any URL, so other the URLs, so where if it is available in a cloud, we will mention that external stage. And then storage provider here S3. If it is AWS, here we are mentioning S3. If it is Azure, we will mention here so Azure details here. And so by default enable is so true. So it will so enable this external stage. So and then integration object and storage. See this one, storage AWS role ARN details here. So here this is AWS role ARN details. If it is Azure, then it will ask storage Azure role ARN Azure account details. That is a tenant ID. Storage tenant ID it will ask here. Then this is the common storage allowed location. If it is AWS, then we will mention the URL of AWS. If it is AWS, then we will mention the URL of so Azure or GCP. So based on your storage location, we are going to mention here. Now, so what is the role ARN? This is our role ARN which we have copied. When we are creating integration object, these details we will request from our AWS team, and this is the ARN details, and then this is the location where your file is available. This is the location, this is the path. Now just copy the path and then give the same path here. Now from this path it is going to pick the file, and then it has to load the data into so this integration object. So this means why we are creating integration object. So it has to, so when you are creating integration object, so you are telling to Snowflake, so allow this role ARN from AWS, and then allow this particular location from so AWS. That is the meaning of this. So when we are creating this integration object, now this one, so we are creating that in where we are creating in a Snowflake. Snowflake will allow Snowflake account. This account will allow this role and then this location. The same way, AWS also it has to allow our Snowflake account and then our this particular user. The Snowflake allowing this role and then this location. The same way, AWS also it has to allow so our Snowflake account and then Snowflake user. Those details once you create the integration object, now integration object is created. Once we create this integration object, this is very important step. So please remember, once you create this integration object, then it will generate external ID and then user ARN details. User ARN details. Now just observe this. If you want to see that, describe integration, and then this is the details. S3 INT. INT. Describe integration. S3 INT. Now just observe this. When you give this storage allowed location, right? This is the storage allowed location, and then this is the so IAM user ARN. IAM user ARN. This for this particular role ARN details, and then this is the external ID. External ID you can able to see our Snowflake account details IQ02405. Now observe this IQ0240. This is your account details. This is for the user ARN. This is the user for this particular the user Snowflake 7 user. Now so let's copy both the thing. This is one thing is a user again. So in when you are working in any project, we will not upload these details. We will not like add these details in AWS. Once you create the integration object, so we will give these details, the external ID details, and then user ARN details to the AWS team. So they have to update these details in trusted relationship policy. Here, if you come to IAM, Identity and Access Management, this is specifically for the role. Come to the role here, click on this, and so here you can able to see trusted relationship policy. See this one, trusted relationship. Click on that, edit trusted relationship policy. Here you need to give that particular, you need to update the, this is related to the user, and then this is related to the external ID. So here, so let's update those details. So once you update these details in AWS, then only so our Snowflake can able to get the data from that particular path. This is the external ID, and then this is our ARN details, user details. Now I'll come here, then update trusted relationship policy. Now the policy has been updated. Okay. Now, so let's come here. So now we have updated. Now both the things, the communication we have created. That is nothing but a integration object we have created. So Snowflake side, we are allowing at the same time AWS side. So they are also allowing. So by using the trusted relationship policy based on the whatever the details the Snowflake has provided. So these things once it is done, then only we can able to create a stage. Otherwise, so it will not so accept to pick the files from this particular location. So now where our file is available, health.csv. So this particular file is available in so this particular bucket in this particular folder, right? So now we need to so pick it from a stage. So generally when we are doing so in our so command line, when you are working with a local file, what we are doing, we are giving so path, right? So put, so command put file, and then we will give the path, and then we will give the stage name. It can be a named stage, and then it can be a internal stage, and it can be a, sorry, named stage or user stage or table stage. But here, so we need to create a so stage. So and then so this is a external stage, nothing but a named stage. External stage we are going to use, and then we need to create that. So here, so let's create a stage. The integration object is created. Now we will create a stage. Before that, let's create a file format. So we can create a file format. Now when we are creating file format, so here this is a CSV format. Okay, just a minute. Okay, and then so this is field delimiter. So this is a comma, right? And then skip header 1. Okay, so this is the optional things you can give or don't give. It's up to us. So now, so we are creating a just we are creating a file format. Now once the file format is created, then what is the next step? So we need to create a stage. Now observe this carefully. When we are creating a stage, what are the things we are giving here? So when we are implementing a stage here, see this one, create or replace stage. This is the stage name. So here external stage, this is the stage name we are giving, and URL. See this one, when we are creating stage, so directly we are giving URL. So when we are uploading the data into the stage, so we will give the path, right? So the same way here, we are giving URL here. When you are giving this URL, if you observe, if you give the complete folder, so whatever the folder, whatever the data is available in that folder, suppose in the CSV folder, if you have, let's come to this S3 bucket. If you give the complete folder, in that particular folder, if you have like 2 to 3 files, all the files will be copied into the stage in this particular folder. Now, if you observe, only one file is available. If you want to copy only one file, you can give the only this particular so file name. So here the path already we have copied. This is the path where your file is available. What we can do is here we can give the same the particular URL. So then so this particular file, so health.csv, it will be copied from this particular URL and then it will keep it into stage. When it is doing this, when you are creating this stage, when you are assigning this URL to this particular stage, storage integration, this is very important. Storage, observe this, what all the additional things we are mentioning here. Storage integration, so which we have created, S3INT, right? So if you don't so use this, then this will not work. It will not pick the file from here and then it is going to load it into this particular stage. It will not pick if you won't give the storage integration. So and then file format, CSV format, the file format we are mentioning. So create or replace, so we are creating a stage. So and then so we are assigning the URL. This particular file will be copied into this particular stage. Now, so okay, let's finish this. After that, I will tell you about the integration object. So how to so give the best, what is the best practice when we are creating an integration object. Now, this is successfully created, right? So stage is created. If you observe list at the rate, so this is a stage area. Now observe this, able to see the file or not. See this one, the file is available. Observe the date and timestamp. You can able to see the date and timestamp here, right? The file is available. Now the file is available in this stage area. Now you can able to so see the data from the stage area. This is one of the certification question. Remember this. Can we able to see the data directly from the stage area before loading the data into the table directly from the external stage area? So this one, so this is possible for the external stage. If you observe, so the data is not available in the tables. We didn't loaded the data into the tables. See this one, so still we have a zero record. So we didn't so copied anything into this particular table. But if you want to see directly from the stage area, external stages, you can able to see that by using select $1. $1 means nothing but a column one, right? So $2 or whatever it may be, $2. So from the stage area. So this, if you run this, you can able to see the data. You can able to see the data directly from the external stage area. External stage area. But this is not possible for the internal things. Internal stage area, it is not possible. Only this is for the external stages you can able to see the data. Now, one more thing. So here, the stage, the file is available. What we need to do? So this particular file, whatever the file is available in the stage area, we need to load it into this particular table. So our this table. So for that, what we are going to do? We are going to implement a copy command. Copy into, right? Copy into the table. What is the table? Healthcare CSV. The table. Copy into the table from the stage area. From, so what is the stage? This is the stage area. This is the syntax, right? This is, and remember one thing, when you are doing this, this is only this copy into, so from the stage area directly, it will work only for the, so comma separated delimiter or so pipe separated delimiter, any delimiters. So this is for the structured files. So if your file is unstructured files, semi-structured files, for example, so if it is a JSON file, or if it is a Parquet file, we will see that also in the next sessions. If a file is, just remember, if the file is Parquet file or if the file is JSON file, this direct copy command will not work here. Direct copy command will not work here. Then what you have to do? So you need to use the conversion. So we'll say that we need to convert that data types, so variant data types into the respective data types. So that thing we have to implement. When we, direct copy command will not work for so JSON and Parquet or Auro. So whatever it may be, semi-structured files, it will not work. So only the copy command will work for the structured files only. Okay. So now, so let's execute this. Let me check. So copy into on error continue. So this here. So we have created so two error records we have here. So on error equal to continue. Let's use this. So copy into the table from the stage area. Now observe this. So it is going to load the data from this particular stage into this particular table. Now the data has been loaded. Now refresh it and then you can able to so check the data here. Now preview data. Now observe this. You can able to see the data here. So this data where it is available, it is the file is available in this particular CSV in this particular AWS location. From this location, so what we have done, we picked this particular the file and then we kept into this particular stage area to kept so this particular file from this URL into this stage area. What we are mentioning integration object. Observe the steps. We are mentioning integration object. To mention this integration object, what we required, we need to create a integration. We need to create a integration object in our Snowflake. To create integration object, what all the things we required? We required that role ARN details and then AWS location, allowed location details, wherever file is available. And then, so what is the role ARN details? These details, so who will give to us? These details respective to the platform. If it is AWS team will give. If it is Azure team will give. So once they given the integration details, these details, we are going to create an integration object. Once we created integration object, what is the next step we need to do? We need to get the this external details, external ID details. So for the Snowflake account, and then the user ARN details. So for the user details, these details again we need to give it to the AWS team. What they are going to do? They are going to update that in a here in Snowflake in our AWS in IAM. They will update in trusted relationship policy. Once they updated the details there, then only we can able to so create a stage area. Then only this particular thing we can able to pick the data from this particular path and then it will load it into stage area. So then on it will come to the file to the stage, then you can use a copy command. So this is the so approach what we have to do. The same approach we are going to do it for so yeah, so Azure and then GCP also. There is no difference. Only the difference will be these details will change. That's it. But approach will be the same. And one thing here, when you created an integration object here, so what is the details we have given? This allowed location, if you observe, so we have given for specific file, right? Specific file. So let's assume that so when you see that integration object here, the allowed location, observe this. What is the allowed location? Healthcare.csv, right? So let's assume so in this particular folder, so we will keep some other file also. So let's say pipe file. So let me upload one more thing. We'll see that pipe also. So here add files. Now let's come to CSV. And then we have a pipe delimited file here. Pipe, this is a pipe delimited file. Now we are uploading. Now observe this. We have another file here, right? So if you have another file here, so when you have this integration, for example, here, if you observe the integration is available. If you observe the integration here, so for which integration it is allowed? Only healthcare.csv, right? Only so this healthcare.csv. But in this particular thing, so up to here, so we need to allow the location. It means whatever the file will come to CSV, all the files it has to allow. So from that particular location, integration object has to allow so all the files in that particular folder. Then so instead of this particular thing, so we need to create up to CSV only. Integration object need to be created up to CSV. And one more thing, remember, Every time when you are creating a integration object, new external ID will be generated. New external ID will be generated. But whenever you are using the role details, same user ARN details will be there. So, but you are using a different roles, then different user ARN details will be generated. Let's observe this here. So we are trying to create. So this is another integration object for one int1 I am giving, and so here, so instead of the complete the file path, we are giving only folder path. So this one we are giving only folder path. Now, so the role ARN, we are using the same role ARN details here. There is no change here. Now observe this integration object we are giving S3int1, S3int1. So this is for the another pipe file structure. So the format will be pipe. Let me show you the file. Now integration object is created. Now, so what is the integration object? Underscore one, right? Score one. This is the integration object. Now observe the details here. When you give the details, see this CSV allowed location CSV. It's changed to integration, and most importantly, observe the external ID. This is the external ID what it is generated now. I will copy paste it here. Now observe the external ID here. This is the new external ID it has generated. See this one and this one is different. So observe the last digits, right? So both are different. This is the new external ID. And then, so what is the another details? The user ARN details. Observe the user ARN details. So user ARN details, if you observe, both will be the same because user is same here. So this one 9384 9384 because we are using the same role ARN. If the role is changed, so let's assume that, so generally, so when you are working with a pipe, we will discuss this. Just remember this. When you are working with the different file formats, your integration object will be unique, and then your bucket also it will be unique, and then your role also it will be unique. So always, so when we are creating, and then stage area also it will be unique. Stage external stage also, so we will create unique stage, the unique role, and then unique bucket. We will use a unique integration object. We won't mix that because based on the different file format also unique. So for example, let's say when you are dealing with, now if you observe here in this particular folder, so you have pipe. This is a pipe delimited file. If you observe query with S3, now observe this is a pipe separator, right? This is a pipe separator file. So another one so in this particular same location, another one is, so that is a, so comma separator. So both the different file formats, right? When you create an integration object, what so happen here, this particular integration object, it is allowing the complete folder. So these are the details, right? So you can give this. So now, so when you want to create the auto ingestion Snowpipe, then so if you are using the same different file formats in a same location, it is, for example, in the same location, it is difficult to create continuous ingestion. So what is the problem? We will see that. So what will happen is it will automatically it will pick the so files. So from that particular location, automatically it will load it into the same table structure. Now, if you observe, so this one, so the table structure is different. Let's assume that this table structure is different. Then the same file, it will try to load it into the same table. When you are copying this particular stage, when you are creating a stage, so we generated the file format is comma separated delimiter. When you are using the same file format here, it will not allow you to load the same file into this particular thing. Now here, this one is a C, so we have given, and when you are creating a stage, observe this, what we will do is, So here, this is for the pipe external stage. I will give it for pipe delimiter. Okay, this is the pipe delimiter. This is another stage. And when you are creating this, if I give up till here, then what will happen? Both the files will come to this particular stage area. But instead of that, so what we have to do in a stage when you are giving this, so instead of giving the only the folder till folder, we will give the complete file path, which file we need to come into this particular stage area. So now what we have to do is this particular thing, only the pipe file. Then what will happen here? We are going to change only that particular thing. See this one? Now only the pipe file will be copied into stage area. But the integration object we are using, this integration object we have to use, the new integration object which we created, right? This is the new integration object. Otherwise, if you use this integration object allowed location will not be there. Allowed location will be only for the previous file. This integration S3INT1 we have to use. S3INT1, the new integration object. And then the file format. So what is the file format which you created previously? This is for the comma separated delimiter. But this is for now, this is for pipe separate delimiter we need to create, right? So for that, just I will give the P here, and then we will create the file format. Now the new file format, the new integration object, file format, pipe, so this pipe. So this is the new file format. Just I have given a P. Okay, new file format, new integration object, new location, right? And then this particular location. So and then new stage area. This is the new stage area. If I use the previous stage, the same pipe file will be uploaded into the stage area. But when you are using a copy command, so here, so this is the create. Let's create this for, this is underscore p. This is for the pipe separator. Both the file structure will be the same. We are creating a another table. So for the pipe delimited file, so we have another table here. Now if you observe the structure, another table. So this is for the pipe. We are going to this particular pipe file. So we are going to load it into this particular external stage first. From this particular external stage, so we have to, let me copy this. From this external stage, we need to load it into this particular table. This particular table. So this is the table, and then this is the stage area, and then so we are going to load this. So when you are loading this, so before that, if you want to see that, so did we created the stage area? No, right? Let's create the stage area. Now when you created a stage area, this from this particular file, it has loaded into this particular stage area, and then it has used this integration object, and then so this is the file format we have used. And if you observe stage or pipe, you can able to see external configured correctly AWS policy. Okay, these things we didn't. Now observe this. What is the error we are getting when you are trying to, so this particular thing, when we are trying to look the file into this from this particular external stage, it is telling that external IDs are not configured for the AWS role. This is related to, because this is the details, right? These are the new integration details, external ID. So and then this is the common, this is the same because of the role is same. So this is the new external ID, it is generated for every integration. These details we didn't upload it. These details where we need to upload. So let's come to IAM, and here come to the roles, and then click on the role. Again, let's come to trusted relationship policy. Here, edit trusted relationship policy. Here, this is the same because the role is the same which we are using. Only the thing what we need to update is this particular details we need to update. So let's copy the updated details here. This is the updated details. Copy, and then come here, update details, update. Now what we are doing for this, whatever the role we are using, right, this particular snow role, we have used a updated details, right? So generally it will be a unique role. So when we are accessing, the unique roles will be created in AWS for based on the file formats. That's why, so said that, so the role will be different, stage will be different, file format will be different, bucket and integration object also it should be a unique when you are handling with them different file formats.
Yeah,
Now
Dinesh,
let's
Dinesh, I have a question here. That
yeah,
external
Kumar.
that external ID, integration ID,
Mhm. Mhm.
will get changed whenever we create a new integration object, right? Let's say I
Correct.
have 10 I have 10 integration object created, and let's say
Mm-hmm.
now I'm creating 11. So the
Mm-hmm.
external ID will be
Mm-hmm.
means same for all 11 or for the last one.
11 means you are telling about a different
Integration object I have created 10 already.
integration.
10
Okay,
integration
okay.
object is there.
Understand.
Now I'm
When you
creating 11.
create different integration object, different new external IDs will be generated.
So
It's a unique.
that external ID will be unique for every integration, or it will be common.
Exactly. Exactly. No, it will be unique for different thing. For example, if you observe, let me show you something. This is for this external ID details is for this integration object, right? And this external ID details is for this integration object. Now observe this S3 int initially we created for comma separated delimited file, right? Now if you observe this integration details external ID, this is different. Observe this. This is QYFK, right? Now observe here the same thing. QAFK, this is the external ID details. Now this is another integration object we have, right? So for this integration object, if you observe this one, so observe this one is, so FZG3K. So this one, external ID. External ID is changing for every new integration object which we are creating. It
But
will be unique always.
got
Only
it.
your the Snowflake role, so user, so role will be same. Snowflake account details will be the same. Remaining, if you
Hmm.
observe here, see this one from here to here, it is changing. From
Right.
here to here, it is changing.
But the confusion is
Hmm.
that in AWS we can have only one external ID, integration ID,
Mhm.
and we
No,
have
no,
this.
no, it's not like that.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So in
Yeah.
AWS, it
Mhm.
allows only one external ID. Na?
No, it's not like that. These external IDs is different. So what you are talking external ID is different, I think, Kumar. So
No,
this
no.
external ID is related to so this particular Snowflake.
So his
Right.
question
But
is, can we add multiple
It is
external
not like
IDs
that.
in IAM, AWS IAM? Can we add multiple external IDs? Because you have
We
replaced it,
can
right?
add. We can add for the different roles. Here, if you observe, so I am using the only one role, right? So like this, you can create a different roles, and we can add the different external IDs to the different roles. That is possible. So here we are only working with this particular role. So that's why, so I am updating here. So if you can create another role, so here like this, and then we can assign this, so this particular account to that particular role, then we can assign that.
so you mean to say that for
Can,
every file format, we have to create a role here
mm,
and that integration things.
yeah, generally it will be with the different roles will be there. The same role we cannot able to do that. Same role, if you do that, what will happen is, so every time, so whenever the file format is changing, again we need to update the external details. That will not be the best practices, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that's the thing. So now, so where we are?
Dinesh,
So
if it is like a we created stage for comma separated file,
mm,
I
correct.
mean like a another same file
Mm,
format, different file
mm,
health 01. So then
mm.
then also we need to create a stage. integration object. Do we need to create integration object
Not
for that?
not required. Not required. Not required. No need to do that. So your question
Okay.
is, so if you want to upload the same file format, the same, for example, so let me show you here. So this is a pipe file, what you are doing, right? The pipe file.
Yes.
Again, if I upload the same pipe file into the same folder, then no need to create again. So it is not required. Already everything we have created, so we can use the same thing, and then we can upload the by using a same stage area. We will see that also. I will show you. Okay, so now what we have done
Okay.
here, so let's try to finish this. So here what we have done, so we created for the separate thing for the so pipe, and then so this is a separate integration object, separate file format. This is for the pipe separated file. Now, so if you observe, so previously it is not allowed to see the data in the external stage. Now, if you observe after updating the details in the external uh, trusted relationship policy, now you can able to see the details. This is for the pipe file delimiter. Now if you try to copy this, copy into this from this particular stage area, then it will allow you to copy the data. Now observe this, the files has been loaded, right? So now if you observe this, you can able to see the so all the data, whatever the data is available in the file, right? So now, so your question is, so let's come to this particular folder, AWS S3. Now we have only one pipe file here. We have a one pipe file in this particular bucket. In this particular CSV folder, you have only one pipe file, right? Your question is, suppose if I upload another pipe file here, so with a different name, right? Same file format, the structure will be the same. No need to create a so another integration object. Now let's observe this. I'm trying to delete this existing one. Now we have deleted. Now we don't have any pipe files here, right? So now what we need to do is just upload the pipe file again. I'm uploading again the file, uploaded. Now the file is available. Let's come to this particular folder. Now the file is available, right? So when the file is available, then what we need to do is already the integration object is available for this particular folder, right? If you come to this here, you can able to see that integration object. In this integration object, the folder allowed, right? The complete folder we have allowed. Then once you created the integration object for that particular folder, so no need to create again and again the integration object. But when it is coming to the stage area, if you observe the your file name is same, then no need to create a separate stage for this. The file name is same, the path, the URL path from where it is picking. So generally what will happen, so this is for the CSV, so the complete the file. So if you every time the same file, same format file, if it is receiving up to here, we will give for the stage area. Then whatever the file is coming here, and then it is going to pick right here. So no need to create again. So if you run this again, so now if you observe this, already the file is available in this stage, right? If you run this again one more time, the file will come into the stage area. Now observe this particular stage. This is the external stage. Previous one, it has been deleted. Now observe the timestamp here. Again, the file has been uploaded into the stage area, right? Now if you load, so then directly it will load the data into so this particular from the stage. So because the same file format, right? The file is same. So that's why it is not allowing. If the file is different, then it will allow us to load. So we can remove, for example, so if I use another stage area, see this one, the same integration object we are using, same file format we are using now. So just to load the data into the table, so from the same file, so we need to create a separate stage, because in a stage, if the file is available already, if the file is available, what will happen, the same file, it will not allow you to load two times, right? So now the file into this particular stage area, this is a different stage. Now observe the stage. The file is available in the stage. Now let's try to copy it from this particular stage into this particular table. Okay, again it is not allowing. Just let me give force equal to true. Same file it is not considering. False equal to true. Now it has been loaded. So now the same file. So no need to create a integration object again. No need to create a file format again. So only the thing is the stage area. The stage also, if you are using the same different files, so then no need to create a stage also. Up to here, if you give, then that is more than enough. So no need to implement it again and again. So only the, so what is the process here? So first we need to create an integration object. First thing is integration object. To create the integration object, we need the ARN details, and then we need the location details from the AWS team. Once we have these details, we are going to create an integration. Then these external ID details and then user ARN details will be generated. So once these details is generated, we need to update these details in a trusted relationship policy. Once we have updated, then we can able to create a file format based on the stage. Then we can create a stage. After that, we will use a copy command. So this is the thing. So how we can able to load the things. So now, so we worked with this CSV file and then pipe separated. So files we saw that. So next we'll see that Parquet and JSON also how to do that, how to convert these files. The same approach again we will do in the next session also by using Parquet and then JSON files. Once it is done, then we will see by using a snow pipe how we can able to implement continuous ingestion. Here what we are doing everything. So once the file is available, if you know in this bucket the file is available, then we are creating a stage, then we are creating integration object, then we are giving copy command, right? But we don't want to do it manually. Whenever the file is available in this whenever the file is uploaded into this particular location, automatically without implementing these manual steps, automatically the file has to be uploaded into any specific the table. So based on the file what it has been loaded into the AWS, that particular thing, so we can handle it by the snow pipe option, that is a continuous ingestion. We will see that. So once these two things is completed, like JSON and then Parquet files, once it is done, then we can able to see these things. But approach will be the same: integration object, the file format, stage area, after that copy command. Okay, so these are the steps, so high level steps we need to remember. So it can be any platform, if it is AWS or if it is Azure or if it is GCP, the same approach, there is no change, only the account ID details will change. So based on your platform, that's it. Here when you are creating a integration object, remaining things will be the same, there is no difference. Any questions here?
I have a question related to clustering.
Yeah, Kumar, tell me.
Yeah, actually, there is a concept of multiple clustering. So,
Mm.
for that multiple clustering, do we need to create multiple warehouse? Is the enough, or means what is this
No, no,
multi?
no, not required to create multiple warehouses. Kumar, each and every warehouse will have multi-cluster. So that is nothing but, so let's say it's kind of parallel processing.
Yeah.
When you create a multi-cluster, same warehouse, so we'll distribute the data to n number of clusters. That's the meaning of this.
Can you show some example? Means how to do this?
Let me show you something here in a warehouse. Uh, when we are creating a warehouse, we will discuss this topic again. When you click on configure here, if you observe here, this is a warehouse, right?
Right.
This is a warehouse, right? Increasing the warehouse size, that is a different thing. The extra small to small, small to medium, medium to large. This is the increasing the warehouses. Let's assume that in our system, like increasing your span. Let's say then when it is coming to multi clusters. See this one here, increasing the cluster size, minimum to maximum. You can able to see that, right?
Mhm.
That is the increasing the cluster size here. My minimum to maximum. This is warehouse improves concurrency through, see this one. The workload will be distributed. So in between number of clusters. So 1 to 10. Like let's assume that the sharing the work in between multiple persons. This one increasing the so capacity. This one. That is the size, virtual warehouse size. For every virtual warehouse size, you will have a minimum cluster to maximum clusters. Okay, this we will call it as a scale in and scale out. Increasing the virtual warehouse size, we will call it as a scale up and scale down. And there is a difference. Scale up and scale down, scale in and scale out. Okay.
If sometime if it uses all the 10 clusters,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right? So the means it will take the credit of number of credit multiplied by 10.
No, no, it will not. It will not depend on the credits. So there is no relation. So when we are increasing the cluster size, only the
No,
credits
no,
will
if
be
it
increased
consume
when we increase the warehouse size.
if it consumes the 10 clusters,
Okay.
minimum is 1 and maximum is 10 we have given. So if it
Mm,
consume all the 10 clusters, then
mm.
will the cost will be, means the credit will be multiplied to 10.
No, no, no. It will not be multiplied. Credit will be depends on only the size of the virtual warehouse. That's it.
Then
So
what
for
is the
this,
benefit? What is
this
the benefit?
processing speed, so they will, it will not like, for example, let's assume that we have 10 resources. Let's assume. So you have assigned this to all the 10 resources. When you are utilizing 10 resources, so then the parallel distribution, right? Distribution will happen here.
Okay, within the same
So that is
resources, it will allow the parallel processing to other users also.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay, okay.
Same.
So will this
Any other
topic
questions?
covered in future classes? How to share that multiple clustering,
Yes,
everything?
yes, yes, Sarvan. So when you are working with resource monitoring head, we will discuss that. How to create that and how to so increase the cluster size, when to increase that.
Not that using that compute warehouse between two clusters, like three clusters, using same compute
Mm.
warehouse.
Yes, yes. So in generally, so we will have in any project, not only one warehouse will be there. We will have for dev warehouse, test warehouse, and then load warehouse based on our like requirement, right? We will have a multiple warehouses also here. We will see that how to create a multiple warehouses.
Yeah, you
So
have
how
shown
to
that in
increase the
resource monitoring. That session is completed, right?
mm,
Yeah, you
mm,
shown that. But how
mm,
to we have created multiple warehouse at that time. But
mm.
my question is how to use one warehouse with multiple, like creating that cluster using one warehouse.
Creating the
Cluster
come
using.
again.
So here
Okay,
in that warehouse configuration, you mentioned that there we can build up to 10 clusters, right?
correct.
Yeah. So creating those clusters and those things.
The so you mean to say that so how to increase the cluster size?
Yeah.
These things. Hmm?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this one generally when we are creating the virtual warehouse size, right? So by default we will give the maximum cluster size and then minimum cluster size. Maximum clusters by default it will be 10, and then minimum cluster by default it will be 1. Okay, so it's not going to impact any on our the pricing, right? That's why so every time when you are creating a warehouses, so it will be so minimum cluster and maximum cluster it will be so by default it will be implemented.
So how it will work actually? My question is how it will work. If you even 10 clusters, how it will process
Mhm.
backend?
In the back end, what it will do is so whenever the so load is available for one cluster, right? It will take a one cluster. If the one cluster load is increased, So there is one concept called system. So you can check the load. So backend clusters based on system dollar, some cluster information will be available. So that I will give you that information. Based on that, so we can understand how many clusters it is utilizing. So even though if you give 10 clusters, right? If the load is not there, it will not utilize all the 10 clusters. It will utilize only like 2 to 3 clusters. If all the 3 clusters is utilized, then only it will increase the cluster to it will go to the next cluster. Otherwise, it will not utilize all the clusters. That is a concept in the backend.
Okay, it's automatic process. We can't do anything based
Automatic
upon
process.
size of load. It will.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mm.
it will. Okay.
All these things, so we don't have any control on this.
Okay. And one more thing, earlier in that
Mm.
that resource monitoring task, we have created multiple warehouse, right?
Mm.
We can share different tables within the same warehouses for the
Yeah,
different.
that is possible, sir.
Okay, okay. So data
All the
sharing,
data will be
some
shared.
concept is right, right? We will share it later, right? In that data sharing
Yeah,
section.
that is different. The data sharing is different concept. So
Okay.
here, so whatever the warehouses, right, we have created, whatever the data we have, whatever the tables we have, everything will be shared in between all the virtual warehouses.
Okay.
Related to this thing, let's say
Mm-hmm.
what is the standard practice which industry is using? See,
Mm-hmm.
we are just learning. That's why we are using the small scale, right?
Correct.
But in what
Mm-hmm.
is the standard practice that what X is industry is using in general?
Mm-hmm. Mm. The sizes, right? We're
Right,
talking
right,
about Kumar.
right, right,
Okay.
right.
So when it is coming to the production, right? So we are going to use medium. So I didn't see any like a production implementation. So anyone using the large or extra large. So we are using medium. For the
Let's say
development.
there are 100 concurrent users who are working.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
means and obviously they are working on that primary key and all that. So in
Mm.
such scenario, which means that medium will be enough.
Medium will be enough. So that is more than enough. So it depends on the credit utilization. And at the same time, we can create a number of virtual warehouses, right? We are not only having only one virtual warehouse. For the developers, all the developers, we will assign one virtual warehouse. For all the testers, we can assign some separate virtual warehouse,
Mhm.
right? So it will not be a conflict. So we can use.
Okay. Actually, what happened yesterday? I filed a query.
Mhm.
Means just a select star on a biggest table that was
Okay.
900 something GB of file, and
Okay.
it was it was continue running for more than 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Then I stopped, aborted the process, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw the in the account thing, it had
Mm-hmm.
consumed 11 to 12 credit in just 30 seconds. The result was not
Okay.
means taken out. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
means how to handle such situations, because it is just a select star and they should have given that limit using the limit thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in this particular, so what will happen is, so when you are, so do you have any clusters on that particular thing? Have you seen any, how many partitions it has picked?
I
Your
yeah.
question is, okay, I understand. Let me
Mm,
show you, give you an example. So let's say we have a uh, table, or you can consider this assigned to reporting purpose. Right?
mhm,
When you assign to the reporting purpose, generally what will happen on this particular table, you will create a view, right? So this view will be assigned to the reporting purpose. Any reporting guys, so when they are fetching some information or when they are generating any information, every time, let's assume that every like daily once they need to send a reports to the users. Then they will generate fire a query on the view. Then every time they will fire the query, and then the result will be shared to the users. In this particular situation, your question is, every time we are firing a query on the view or a table, so it is taking some 12 credits every time, right? The
mhm.
first time only it is going to charge. So next time what will happen is 24 hours it it will be available in cache. Okay. Virtual warehouse cache. So this cache, until it is available, the next time when you again fire a same query on the table, it is not going to pick the so that much of credits. And at the same time, anytime when you are firing a query, we will not fire the complete volume of the data, right? So based on the conditions we will pick. So based on the filter condition or based on any specific case, we are going to pick the data. In that particular situation also, it will not take much time. And at the same time, so let's assume that, so when you fire first time the query, it has taken, let's assume just, so let's assume that 2 minutes. Next time, so before 23 hours, so next time it will be available 24 hours in the cache in the backend. So within this 24 hours, if you find the again the query, then it will not take so more than, so for example, 2 seconds, assume that. So this one, so what they will do is, so every time when they are scheduling, so they will schedule that. So before the 20, so 4 hours. So let's say, so 20, every 23 hours once when you are running, every time the data will be available in a cache. Every time it will pick from the cache level. So and then it will not so find the complete thing on that, the whole table. And this is the so concept to reduce the so billing. So in your scenario,
Is there any means limitation with the cache? Let's say if
limitation,
I'm
it will be available. Yeah, virtual warehouse cache, it will be available 24 hours.
no the size of the virtual warehouse cache.
Size, there is no limitation for the size and all.
Let's say I'm running month in batches and which is means
Mhm,
all year end batches. Let's say so
mhm, mhm.
it is means going through all the partitions, maximum partitions,
Mhm.
right? So
Understand.
that does the
Mhm.
cache is means that much enough capable to store all those data, such a huge
Yes, yes,
amount of
there is
data.
no limit. Correct,
Okay,
Kumar. So there is no limitation, Kumar, on the caches. And then to
okay.
handle this concept, right? So we have a unique concept called materialized view in a Snowflake. Okay. So normal in databases, materialized view is there, right? The same way it will work. So, but it is little advanced. So we'll discuss that in a materialized view. So how the things will always it will be like real-time data. We can consider that. So there also they implemented a backend mechanism. So without doing anything, so generally what we will do when you are refreshing this one, so in traditional things, every 12 hours once, every 24 hours once, we will refresh the data. But when you create a materialized view in Snowflake, right? So there is no need of refreshing any data. Automatically, it will run it from the backend, and it will do the everything from the backend itself. That we will discuss in the so further
And
class.
that will be kept in the and that will be kept in the cache also.
Exactly.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
Yeah,
Okay, guys. Thank you.
yes,
See
I
you
checked it.
tomorrow.
Dinesh, I
Happy New
checked it.
Year.
It didn't copy that named stage. If you want to share my screen, I can.
Okay. Could you please share your screen,
Yeah.
Saran? We'll check once.
The host, I think it you disabled screen
Just a
share.
minute. I will give the control to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you share your screen now?
Yeah, yeah. So you're able to see, right?
Just a minute. It's drafting. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, what I did is maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm in different warehouse.
That is fine.
Yeah. Here I initially I have class database. Later I cloned this class test. So
Mm-hmm.
if you observe both have same information schema public retention. So
This is fine.
yeah.
Okay.
So at that time, if you observe here
Mm.
in public, I'm
Mm.
just using class dot public, and here I created show stages. So
Mm.
this is the name stage which I have created. before creating before using clone option only. So
Okay.
and so my expectation is whenever I use this class test underscore public, so it should show that particular stage when clicked on show stages. So that
One second.
that so it's a name stage only. Name stage type internal.
Okay. Okay. Internal, it is not coming. Can you check once the table stage also here? Any, you can take any table.
Yeah. So at least not.
You can give the list.
Yeah, maybe I'll. It's also not there. So whenever it's type internal, then I checked in Google.
Okay.
So whenever it said like whenever it is stage internal, it will not come. Only the external stage like AWS S3 integration.
Yeah, you are correct, sir. So then, so my statement is wrong. Only the external stages will be copied, so not the named stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm just checking, I'm practicing and
No,
I'm
fine,
checking
no.
each and everything.
Good.
So just to clear that doubt, I asked. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you all. Happy New Year to everyone. I will see you
Happy New
tomorrow.
Year.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Same to you.